Kansas City Chiefs at the Washington Football Team. It has ticked down to 6.5. So this thing was at 7 in favor of the Chiefs. It is now 6.5. It is under that field. It is under that touchdown. 56 or 56.5 is your total. Of course, the Chiefs coming off of that public shaming basically against the Bills. The only way to put it. I mean, just a complete and utter beatdown in front of the world where everybody was watching and could not get anything done whatsoever to stop that Bills offense from running up and down the field. Now they hit the road, heading over to Washington to play Taylor Heinicke and the Washington Football Team. Brad, I'll start with you here. I have a play in this one. It's a teaser leg for me. I think that this is a little, and again, I thought this number was going to go on the other side of the touchdown, not come back the other way. So I was on the wrong side of this as far as the number goes. I took the 7 down to 1. Look, this Chiefs team, yes, the defense is every bit as bad as we thought it's going to be. I think we've proven that at this point, but they have played a murderer's row of good offenses so far to start the season. And now you get Washington Football Team, a Taylor Heinicke-led team where Taylor Heinicke was god-awful this past week. I think you even mentioned it on the pod last week that maybe these teams are starting to figure him out a little bit, or maybe it was just this, he was performing just way, way, way over his skis, way, way, way over expectation, and he's just coming back down to earth here. But I like this Chiefs team a lot here, despite the fact that they have such a poor defense.
Yeah, I think it's a decent bounce back spot. So I didn't watch that game against the Bills. But if you actually looked, I only looked at the box score the next day and some of the advanced stats. The Chiefs had a better success rate, I think a better first down rate in that game. Obviously, I think they were -4 in turnovers. They didn't have Chris Jones and they got 0 pass rush, and they paid for it. But I think it's a little bit overblown that the Chiefs dynasty is over. They can't make the playoffs with this defense because it's probably better than dead last. It is probably a lot of strength of schedule in there, as you said, second hardest in the entire NFL so far. And then, so if we think that we get a little bit of improvement out of them, especially against, as you say, Taylor Heinicke, who might be getting figured out and he's prone to mistakes. Like, I don't see the Chiefs not scoring here. It reminds me of that Eagles game where they did not punt a single time. I think they were 6.5 road favourites in that game as well. So best offense in the NFL by DVOA, going up against the second worst secondary in the NFL by PFF grade. That should just be a bloodbath, really. So if you've got Heinicke forced into 40 pass attempts to keep up, you would hope there is enough talent in the Chiefs defense to get a turnover or two, and I would prefer them to cover the spread.
Yeah, Stephen, I think you have a leg here as well in this thing, like I do. Again, it's just it's a situation where I get it. Kansas City defense is definitely bad, and I thought they're probably even worse than I thought they could possibly be, and the Bills certainly exposed that this past week. But to put the Bills or the Browns or any of these teams that they have played so far into the same breath as what you're getting in Washington, I think is just being a little bit foolish here, especially with Taylor Heinicke and the way that he has played over the last couple of weeks. Again, he has really, really regressed. He lacks arm strength as well. There's just a lot of things that are deficient in his game. And let's just face it, this Washington defense was supposed to be the strong suit of this team. They're supposed to be the thing that was going to keep them in every single game. And that has not been the case so far. They've just been shredded. And here in rolls the number 1 offense in all of the NFL. I don't think that Kansas City offense slows down here at all. And I think that the defense, as bad as they are, can make at least a couple of stops. And with that, that's going to be enough to win this game.
Yeah, I actually have 3 different tickets around this game, all involving the Kansas City Chiefs. The first is just the straight up spread, the -6.5. There are a couple 7s popping at different spots as we record this. So if you can get the 6.5, definitely do that. I am with you on the teaser leg as well for Kansas City at -0.5. -1's fine too on that. Here's an interesting way to look at this, right? The market in terms of a common opponent in recent weeks. The Saints last week closed -2.5 at Washington. Are we really going to believe with the Chiefs at -6.5 that the market is telling us that Kansas City is only 4 points better than the New Orleans Saints? I completely I think that's laughable. I reject that completely. So I actually think we're getting a discount on the Chiefs this week after that primetime performance. And listen, the defense is a train wreck. We've all noted that. A fun fact, though, they are the worst total DVOA defense on record here. Now, a small sample, only 5 games, a whole rest of the season to go. But as of right now, the worst total DVOA on record. Those records go back to 1983. The next worst defense was the 1986 Bucks, who went 2-14. So they're a train wreck. Hopefully some easier offenses will help them in future weeks here. Offensively, though, for the Chiefs, the other angle I have here, I think this is a pretty good buy low spot on Patrick Mahomes, 20-1 at BetMGM to win MVP. We all know football writers. They're not exactly the most advanced analytics type crowd like baseball voters are. So, I mean, these writers for football and their awards, especially MVP, are obsessed with touchdown passes. So Mahomes at this point still is on pace to get to Peyton Manning's single season record of 55, albeit with an extra game. But that'd be a nice headline to vote for him. And as a unit, despite that horrific defense, they're still first in DVOA, EPA, and success rate. So if Mahomes carries this team to a division title with a horrific defense, pretty good narrative there at 20-1 if he leads the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. And he is on pace for more than 5,000 yards this year. So you talked about the Washington defense. They're horrific. They're bottom 5 in DVOA and PFF pass D grade. And then on offense, Heineke's a train wreck. 31st graded offense by PFF. The O-line actually has been good. Like if you look at several statistics for Washington, the O-line has been pretty good. So I might actually be looking to buy low on this team in future weeks once Ryan Fitzpatrick's back off IR, which could be as early as week 7. But these stats for this offense overall, given how good the offensive line has been statistically, are really an indictment of Taylor Heineke. And overall, I think it's a great buy low spot this week for Kansas City.
There's a market over on DraftKings as well for most passing yards over the course of the season. Patrick Mahomes is still 7-1 right now to win, to have the most passing yards in the NFL. Listen, the defense might get a little bit better over the course of the season whenever they're fully healthy, but they're not going to make such a jump to where they are not going to have to keep their foot on the gas in every single game moving forward. And that's one of the things here that I was really drawn to with Patrick Mahomes in that market, specifically for most passing yards, because again, one, they just moved Clyde Edwards-Helaire to the IR. So now they're down the starting running back that they had to start the season with anyway. They're not very good at running the ball. They're not all that, they don't really want to run the ball with everything that they've got going on as well. And so for Mahomes at 7-1 to lead the league in passing yards, I really did like that one. So that ticket is also available out there again over at DraftKings. So take a look in that one as well.